What's going on, Notre Dame fans? Mike Singer and Tyler Horka here from Blue and Gold with a Thursday post-Marcus Freeman press conference video. I apologize. I'm not in one of my four normal colored shirts I wear, but with Touchdown Jesus behind me. I met the in-laws, so this is just the situation. Tyler, appreciate you joining us. Let's talk about the nuggets from the day. And folks, please do hit the thumbs up on this video and subscribe to our channel for more content. Unfortunately, the big news being Bauer is out for, his Notre Dame career is over, Tyler.
Yeah, that's it. That's my first thought every single time news like this comes out is, wait, does this guy have another year? Like when Avery Davis went down in fall camp, I was like, could he come back for a seventh? And I'm pretty sure that's still up in the air or something, because Marcus Freeman said something earlier in the year like, yeah, we'd love to have him back, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure his career's done too. With Bauer, guy never missed a game in his entire Notre Dame career. We're talking 4.5 seasons. This guy came in 2018, and obviously he was, more of a special teams guy, didn't get much defensive playing time in 2018, and was always kind of reserve guy all the way through 2021 last year when he was backing up Drew White at middle linebacker, and this year he was backing up J.D. Bertrand at middle linebacker as well. But absolute staple on special teams for Notre Dame over the years, over 1,000 snaps on special teams, over 800 snaps on defense. So he was a reserve guy, and he only started 2 games in his Notre Dame career, but he was used so heavily. He was used heavily this year, and man, they're going to have to find a way to replace him on special teams for sure. He led the team with 102 special team snaps through 5 games, and he was in the rotation at linebacker as well. So 2 huge holes there, special teams and defense, that Notre Dame has to fill with losing Bauer.
Folks, $10 gets you access to blueandgold.com through August 31st, 2023. So sign up now. You get all the premium team information and recruiting intel through the start of next season. So Tyler, just looking at this linebacker group, where do the Irish go from here?
Marcus Freeman mentioned 2 names, and 2 names that you probably imagine that he would mention. It was Prince Kollie, who we've seen a little bit in the last 2 games, and Junior Tuihalamaka, who's been used sparingly. He's only played 7 snaps all season. So Collie's only played 18, and all of those have come in the last 2 weeks. So it's going to be interesting because Prince Kollie is obviously more of an outside guy. You like to use him at will linebacker when he's spelling Maris Liufau and some of those reps. Maris Liufau's played a ton of snaps this season, and you've seen Kollie kind of work his way in, especially with Bertrand missing some time with those targeting fouls. But those are really the only 2 guys that I would say are ready to play linebacker right now. And I'm not even sure Junior Tuihalamaka is ready to take on 5-10 snaps a game. Like I said, he's only played 7 all season, and Kollie is a sophomore, Tuihalamaka a true freshman, and Collie's only played 18 all year. So this is just a huge hole for Notre Dame to lose a guy who played 71 defensive snaps and 102 special team snaps. Boom, just like that, you lose the guy for the rest of the year.
In college football, folks, you have to expect the unexpected. And, so we talk all off season about what things will look like, or, oh, this is what Notre Dame's going to do after this game, or, whatever the case may be. And then, boom, on a Thursday, Bauer out for the year. Tyler, how does Marcus Freeman go about dealing with these unexpected injuries?
You gave a really good answer today, and there's been some times in the first month of Marcus Freeman's regular season head coaching career where I've heard an answer from him, and I'll be like, man, the next time he answers that is going to be a lot better because he will have heard it before. This is the first time he's heard this question, and he was like, you got to prepare everybody like they're ready to start. And I know that sounds cliche, and every coach in America is going to say that, but he brought up instances like Maris Liufau last year being lost for the season, the entire 2021 season, before Notre Dame even played a game because he fractured his ankle. He had to get guys ready to go in his wake. And that was J.D. Bertrand, a guy who had 100 tackles last year, and nobody else had more than 60, I think it was. So that was a coaching move right there to be able to get Bertrand in a position to be one of the team's most important players last year. Now they're kind of in the same situation where it's not Bertrand, but it's Bauer. And it's just getting guys ready throughout the week, because we write so much and we anticipate so much for 12 Saturdays a year, right? But the other 300 days, you've got to get guys like Kali, Tui Halamaka, Jalen Sneed, even, who was mentioned in the press conference. Marcus Freeman said he's probably not ready to take on defensive responsibilities yet, but that's a guy who, just because of this injury, you start thinking, okay, maybe it's time for him to make his debut, because you lose a guy, you got to find a way to plug and play. That's what college football is all about.
So let's kind of take a look at some more injuries that we've known about this week. You got Tariq Bracy, questionable, I believe, and Howard Cross missed the BYU game. Just tell us the status of those two guys.
I would say Tariq Bracy is still questionable with that hamstring. Marcus Freeman said he liked what he saw early in the week in practice, so he could play, but I'm not sure he's going to play as much as we've been used to seeing Tariq Bracy play, which is a whole lot. And then Howard Cross, I would say he's probable. Marcus Freeman says he's looked pretty good throughout the week, nearly played last week. I mean, it was as game time decision as it gets. So that's pretty good news on both of those fronts, because Notre Dame needs those guys for depth purposes. You need Bracy to start potentially if you're out there in a nickel look, but it sounds like both of them could play. I would expect Howard Cross to play quite a bit.
Tyler, any time a head coach is asked about his opponent, they talk the opponent up like it's the 85 Bears they're going up against. And, Freeman was discussing Stanford on Thursday and was, hyping them up. And maybe not hyping up, that's obviously not the right word, but, talking about how good of a football team they are. And Notre Dame at times this season, of course, the Marshall game and early on in the Cal game showed that they can be beat by just about anybody. So tell us more about this Stanford team, because when you look at the win-loss record, it's 1-4. It's not very good, but they've played some of these teams tight. Now, they haven't looked good on the road, though, and they're going across the country this week. So can you give us some insight on this matchup and what Marcus Freeman had to say about the Cardinal?
Yeah, obviously there's two coaching cliches when it comes to a record. You are what your record says you are, and then there's the flip side of that where Marcus Freeman said it today about Stanford. This team is better than its 1-4 record. And I would probably lean toward that than saying Stanford is 1-4 and they're as bad as every other 1-4 team in the country, because they're probably the best 1-4 team in the country when you look at the talent that they're able to bring in. I mean, they don't have top 20, top 10 recruiting classes, but they sneak inside the top 30, usually always inside the top 40, and that's not the worst talent in the country. So there's talent on this Stanford team. Now, they've lost a lot of it to injuries. They're going to be without two starting offensive linemen. They're without Emmitt Smith's son at running back, E.J. Smith, who was having an awesome year through the first couple of games. Tanner McKee's a great quarterback, but I'm not sure they can really rely on him to make all of the throws when right now they're one-dimensional at running back. They have one guy in Casey Filkins who is basically taking all of their carries right now. You've seen it with Notre Dame. They have three guys that shoulder the load. Stanford only has one. So, and then on defense, I'm not sure Stanford has a lot of game wreckers who are going to get to Drew Pine, or they're going to lock up a Michael Mayer, or they're going to stop those three running backs that I just mentioned. So Notre Dame obviously has the talent edge. That's why they're a 17-point favorite. But again, this is a Stanford team that just last week probably should have beat Oregon State. And this is a Stanford team that played USC within 13 points, and USC only beat Oregon State by 3 points. So they're competitive in the Pac-12, and I think the Pac-12 is a little better than the Pac-12 was last year. So I wouldn't look at 1-4. I would look at the name Stanford. I would look at this as a rivalry. And just because Notre Dame's won the last three games in this series by 24.3 points per game, I'm not sure they're going to hit that this week, but at the end of the day, Notre Dame is still a much better football team.
Great insight from Tyler Horka, but I would say the star of the show today was Ollie.
You can barely see him right there this time, but if we do one of these on October 31st, which is his birthday, he's a Halloween baby. I'm gonna have to like hold him up, hoist him up, and get him in front of the camera.
October 31st falls on a Monday. So Marcus Freeman press conference day. So we do these videos on Mondays too. So there you go. We'll have Ollie on the show for sure. But Tyler, appreciate your time, and folks, appreciate yours as well. Watching to the end of this video, do hit that thumbs up. Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel and go over to blueandgold.com to read all of our preview content for the game this Saturday. Appreciate you all, and we'll catch you next time.